Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Evil Live. I'm your host, the Evil Tyrone. And I've got a very special guest in the building tonight. Sam Tonnell, not the one and only, writer and also poet. Just getting she's got a mean pen game, folks. She's got a mean pen game. But thank you for joining. Tonight the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. We always love, interacting with people that I've never interacted with before, especially on like a one-on-one type of level, just to get to know them a little bit better through the lens of horror. And I did get to previously talk to you for a little bit on Sledgehammer, Ken and Ashley's, podcast Sledgehammer Horror, which was an amazing time, always a fun time.
Fun. Super fun.
Now we got some love in the comments. We got Cray Dre. Let's get it. Thanks for showing love, Cray Dre. We got Jaleesa Taylor in the building. Thanks for stopping by, Jaleesa. And we also got a double feature podcast. Mika and Kara. Thanks for stopping by. Always showing love. Always showing love. So I guess we can get into it. Like, what is your horror origin story? Like, how did you get into the genre?
Well, I'm a 90s kid, so that was like when Goosebumps came out, and I think that was really what the first thing that got me into it. I was really young. I had to have been like first or second grade, and I remember going to the library in my school, and I wanted to check out a Goosebumps book, and the librarian wouldn't let me because you had to at least be in third grade. And I remember like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, my parents let me read these, but then I'm sure every kid would say that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, pretty young, and then I kind of gradually got more and more into the adult stuff. I know my parents were kind of nervous because I was so young, but I loved it. And after like watching the Goosebumps show, and then I would I remember watching The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. That was like my first horror movie that I did with Sledge. And then after that, I was just like super hooked, and then I started getting more into like 80s horror. So I was watching a lot of the classics. Like my dad would kind of like take me a tour of all his favorites. So went into like The Fly, Alien, Predator.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, my mom was nervous, but the deal was if I watched it with my dad and not alone, like then that was okay. So.
Okay. Well, I mean that was a sweet deal. That was a sweet deal. You at least got to experience, some of the classics, a lot of the classics in that boat.
Yeah, for sure.
It was I'm glad that you mentioned like that Goosebumps era, because I was a big like Goosebumps book collector as well. Like I had the sheets, the blanket set. I had all the books pretty much spread out across my bed every day. Like it was insane. It was a time the kids don't know nowadays. The kids don't know about
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The internet and stuff. No, we didn't have that. We had Goosebumps.
Oh yeah. And then even I remember even like something like scary stories to tell in the dark. Like I
Yes.
remember posting up. I took the Hearst song. I posted it up on my refrigerator, and my mom, she was like, "I gotta go get you tested because you're scaring me right now. You're scaring me right now."
Yeah.
It was definitely a time. It was definitely a time. But
Mhm.
I always like hearing when parents, they may not always be, pro horror, but when they let you go off and do your own thing, they're like, oh, I don't understand this, but I'm at least gonna,
Yeah.
let you go off and do your own thing.
Yeah. It's funny because my sister did not like scary movies at all, but
Ooh.
then I loved them. So it was kind of funny. My parents were like, I mean, this is really crazy, but I guess she's okay. seems relatively normal, so I guess it's fine.
Yes, yes. And we got Kara. She says 90s kids all the way. Yes, yes. Girl, it was an era. It was an era. You had to be there. The Go-Gurts and the Pop Tarts and all this stuff. And it was wild. It was wild.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Like the
Def def
Nickos too.
Oh, yes.
Double Dare and Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yes. Hey dude.
Yeah,
Doug.
yeah.
You
I
know,
love Doug. Hey Arnold. Keenan and Kel was one of my favorites.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
all that
Yes,
and
all that,
yeah,
Are You
like
Afraid of the Dark? Just
oh, Are You Afraid of Dark? Yeah, of course. I remember it would come whatever day of the week it would come out. My friend from down the street would come over and we would always watch it together. So
yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's a staple in my horror journey. It's definitely a staple. And I think it definitely cemented in a lot of our brains as children because I feel like a lot of those scares were adult scares. They weren't like, just they weren't really entry. Some of those stories were not entry level stories, into horror.
right,
I'm like, oh, you guys were doing it advanced.
yeah, yeah. Like the one that sticks out for me was like the girl, this little girl, and she had a new babysitter come over, and then all her dolls were like moving, and
Yes.
I have a fear of dolls literally from that episode, and and then it like turns out in the end that the dolls were like the spirits of her babysitters that she was trapping inside them, and they were like trying to warn her the whole time, not like trying to attack her. And yeah, after that, can't do dolls. So
No, I understand, especially like, because nowadays they do have, horror doll movies and stuff. Like, of course, we got Chucky and the television show, and we've got Annabelle and stuff like that. But I feel like nowadays, with the Megans and the dancing and everything, I feel like it's a little bit more entertaining than terrifying. Back in the day, I felt terrifying, you know.
right, yeah, and just I don't know, just something about something that's alive that shouldn't be, and you don't know why. That always got me.
All the time, all the time. We got a Care. She says, "Love Goosebumps, all the books." Yes, yes. It's the collector series. Christopher Pike books too. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I've gotta check that out. I've got to check that out. Christopher Pike, and then double feature. Mika says, "Dolls still freak me out." Yeah, it's nothing like, you might go into like your aunt's house or your grandmother's house and they've got
Yeah,
all this huge collection of the
yeah.
porcelain, the old, and it's just the dark when the lights are out. It's just like, oh no, can't do it. Can't do it.
I always got creeped out because at my great aunt's house growing up, there was one like they had like a guest room, and then we would go there, and it was like the super old doll, and she was always sitting like in the middle of the bed with like her dress all like splayed out and just
Yes.
staring at the front door, and like it always creeped me and my sister. It always creeped us out.
Oh yeah, it definitely set a mood. It definitely set a mood,
Yeah,
when the dolls were in the vicinity, that I really don't see too much of lately. Who knows? We may get a resurgence of the super creepy dolls, instead of the entertaining. Although I love the entertaining dolls. I love Megan. Love Megan.
yeah.
Don't
I
get me
love Megan
wrong.
too. Actually,
You know.
I didn't really know what to expect going into that, but I liked it more than I thought I would. So that's always a nice surprise.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's especially when they tap the heart. Like I didn't expect that movie to tap the heart as much as it did.
Hmm.
So or have as many spooky visuals. Like just some stills were like terrifying to me. Definitely
Yeah, like the
terrifying.
part where she gets on all fours and is running, I was just like, nope, no, not about that at all.
Yeah, it was but I was like, you know what? That kid deserved it because when he had her pinned down, like the whole theater was like, "Don't be weird, don't get weird," so
Oh yeah, definitely well deserved, but still scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, terrifying, terrifying. We got some Pete and Pete love in the building. Curious, shouts out Pete and Pete. Jaleesa says that Pete and Pete episodes when the kids tried to boycott sleeping. Yeah, the good old days when you think that staying up all night will solve all your problems. The
Yeah,
good old days. The
when you
good
like
old days.
wanted to stay awake and not nap all the time.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. We got Anthony Jerome in the building. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. Now your name on social media is a maiden and macabre. Is it macabre or macabre? Because I've heard it both ways. It's
I mean, that's like a
macabre.
French word, I guess. So yeah, I mean that's technically how you say it. Yeah.
Okay, maiden and macabre. So how did you come up with that name to
I
identify with?
I came up with it like several years ago, and I don't know. I kind of liked it because it's I like horror, I like dark stuff, but I also like there's a feminine side of me too. So I think maid and macabre, how that goes together, kind of represents both those things.
Yes, yes, I like it. I dig it. I dig it. Now, how did you get into poetry? Because you're a poet as well. You
A little bit, yeah. I just kind of randomly started experimenting with different kinds of writing several years ago. I've always done like fiction, like short stories, and then I don't know, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just kind of tried it out for something different and had a couple ideas kind of come through randomly. I'd be like, I don't know, on the bus or the train to work, and then I would just like get an idea and just do it. Had a long commute, so I had time to kill.
yes, yes. A lot. You know what? Nothing wrong with that, especially when you have the creative juices flowing. You have somewhere to
Yeah,
to an outlet. So
I feel like with
do
me, like they're always flowing, so it's like I gotta let it out somehow. So
okay, okay. So now with your writing, do you plan on like writing a novel one day or a script one day or?
yeah, I am writing a novel, and like it's hard to say writing because I slack off on it so much, but it's hard being your own boss. That's the hardest thing.
Yes, it
Is
is.
like I need to like really be on myself more with like try and do like at least like one chapter a day or one page a day or one sentence a day. So I kind of have the novel on pause right now, and it's a short story I'm working on because I want to put together like an anthology like of short stories. And yeah, so I think I have a majority of it figured out, but I think right now novel I'm kind of stuck with, but this kind of like another story or two I have that I think I can finish quicker. So
Oh yeah, and I love to hear it. I love me a good anthology, especially because, it's something you could always go back to and expand on, if you chose to,
yeah,
so
that's
the an-
true.
yeah, the anthologies are just amazing,
Mhm.
so if you were like the crypt keeper, because he's got his own anthology and the vault of horror and all that stuff, like how do you think you would be as a like if you had your own, if they gave you your own film and they were like, you know what, Maiden Macabre, we're gonna make you into a character and have you tell these stories. How do you think you would be?
Ooh.
Like how would you dress?
I think I really like how vampires look typically. So I think just kind of like the really pale, like dark lipstick and kind of like brightly colored eyes and just kind of like the gothic look, but still like really
Yes.
elegant. Um, just really darkly elegant, but also can be kind of gory sometimes with, obviously blood drinking and stuff. So that's what I would go for.
Yes, yes, I love it. And I'm totally picturing it in my mind as well. That'd be badass to see something like that on the screen because we really haven't seen, a lot of that. Like a lot of times when it's someone telling anthologies, it's some man or some
Mm,
corpse up there, telling
of
the
course.
stories.
Yeah.
So. It'd be nice. It'd be a nice change, you know. We also got Kira. She says, agreed. Sam didn't know what to expect from Megan, but was pleasantly surprised. It was entertaining. Yes, yes. And then Mika, she says, love anthologies. You're able to take the stories in all directions. Yes, yes. Anthologies are definitely top notch. Definitely top notch. Like, do you have any like favorites that you've seen on television? Like, you know, because I know you've got like something like Goosebumps and you know, Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff like that. But do you have any others that come to mind that stick out for you?
Um, Black Mirror, I was a big fan of.
Yes,
That's like
yes.
uh also kind of sci-fi. I don't know how some people are really picky about categories. I don't
Oh
know.
no, no, Black Mirror is
Okay.
definitely horror. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I was a big fan of that one. Um, and also surprisingly, the new Goosebumps show I really liked.
Ooh,
Um,
I've heard good things.
yeah, yeah. Um, as like a classic Goosebumps fan, I was kind of like, but no, I thought they did a really great job modernizing it, and I'm a huge fan of Justin Long. I mean, he's just such a joy in everything he does. So that made it really good too. And I thought the story was good, and I thought they really did a great job, like bringing kind of the scariness, but also still kind of a wholesomeness to it.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't finished it. I still need to finish it, but I've heard like
Okay.
it's really good. It
Yeah,
definitely is definitely on point. I do remember enjoying it from what I saw a little bit more than the Jack Black, you know, the films and stuff like that, you know.
yeah, yeah. I wasn't really into the films a whole lot. I thought it
Yeah.
was okay, but I actually liked this show more. So.
Oh, the show was amazing. The show
Mhm.
was amazing. It definitely like we said before, you know, you had to be there, kids. You had to be there. Goosebumps, the television
Yeah,
show.
and I rewatched a couple of the episodes somewhat recently, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it doesn't totally hold up, but it's like you said, you kind of had to be there because some
Yeah.
some parts of it, it's like some parts of it were kind of like '90s cheesy, and some of the effects were just kind of like, I don't know, that like today I don't think those would work, but like at the time they totally did, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Especially like what scared the masses, like, you know,
Yeah,
prosthetics and, you know, mood and stuff like that. You know, I'm not sure. I think they keep trying to bring that like anthology back, but I feel like the only one that's kind of doing it good is Creepshow, like on Shutter. Have you seen that?
no, not yet,
Yeah, yeah, it's really it's worth your time. You know, not every story is like a winner chicken dinner, but for the most part, it's really they stay true to like the creep show format. You know, if you've ever seen the movies, and if you haven't, definitely check those out. Top notch.
for sure.
All
Uh,
right. So my next question for you would be, do you have a favorite horror subgenre, you know, that sticks out to you?
um, I really, I'm sort of like torn between psychological thriller and sci-fi.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so and almost like both of them together, if that makes any
It
sense.
does, because when you said it, I was thinking, you know, of
Yeah.
movies with both together. Yeah.
So like Alien, and like have you seen Event Horizon?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's one of
Crazy.
my total all-time favorites. Pandorum, I really like that one too. And also Sphere, which is a little more on the sci-fi side, but still pretty freaky. Just anything that's like you don't really like. It's one thing when there's like a monster that you can like see and
Yes.
it's there and you can process it, but when something's going on and you don't even really know exactly what's happening or if it's real, or that's what really freaks me out. I guess like the not knowing part of it.
Oh yeah. It's definitely adds another layer, you know, because you're already unsettled because you know they may throw like an alien in there or you
Yeah,
know some space spirit or whatever, you know, how whatever the sci-fi story is telling, but you know you're adding the layer of of mystery, because mystery in itself,
Yes,
like not knowing, like we us as humans, we're naturally afraid of things that we don't, know or understand. So
exactly,
it
exactly.
it definitely taps in. We got Kira. She says, "Jack of all trades." Sam, love it. Yes, yes, doing it all, doing it all. Body bags and XX 2017 horror anthology. Yes, I haven't checked out XX yet, but Body Bags was amazing, and I watched that for the first time a couple years ago. That was a really good one. Alien, yes, all the Alien love, especially the first one. Like the first one is the one for me, like just because it's claustrophobic, and I just love that. I love that feeling of just being in a space. Like I don't personally love that feeling, but I love watching it on television. So,
Right, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and just like all the twists and turns it had, obviously, like the chest bursting scene. But honestly, like this is one I saw when I was a kid, and the part
Yes.
that scared me the most was when they find out that the one guy is an android, and he starts like spurting this milky substance, and that freaked me out more than anything else in the whole movie, honestly, because it was, I don't know, something just so gross and weird about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely, and especially back then where they were, heavily using the prosthetics and stuff like that, and you're just thinking in your mind like, how did someone even come up with this design? Like it looks so
Yeah.
realistic, you know.
Yeah, and who's like, let's use milk and that'll be good. Like, yeah, just very strange.
Oh yeah, yeah. The imagination of the props department is all never ceases to
Yeah.
amaze me. You know.
For there was like an anniversary showing of The Thing, um, not last Father's Day, but the one before, where it was bringing back to theaters, and so that's my favorite horror movie that my dad introduced me to. So then for Father's Day, like I took him to see it in the theaters for the anniversary.
Wow.
So that was super fun. And at the end, they had this super detailed, like they had kind of like a how they filmed it type thing, and like how they
Yes.
did like the scene where he's like pushing like on the guy's chest and he's trying to do CPR, and then his arms just fall in. And they're talking about like how they did all the different kinds, like how the head was like unattached, and how many hours it took just to like get the certain effects, and to get like all the chemicals they used to get things to look a certain way, and just all the amount of work that it took is just so impressive, and that makes it so much better, I feel like.
Yeah, it definitely added a different element to it that I think carried it over into the legendary status that it has today, and the influence, it's pretty much in the DNA of, a lot of horror movies, especially body horror out there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely up there. We got some love. Kira says Book of Blood also. Yes. Mika, love seeing Event Horizon and Spear getting some love. Yes, yes, definitely up there. Books of Blood, Three Tales That Connect Somewhat. Jaleesa says No One Will Ever Save You was a great mixture of sci-fi slash psych horror, which I agree. I don't know if you've seen that, but that one is on Hulu. That's
But
definitely an amazing one.
yeah,
You
that
know,
was definitely kind of a mind bender.
yeah, yeah. Especially the ending. I'm like,
Yeah,
so
what happened?
like, is she dreaming this, or did they get her, or is she working
Yeah,
with him,
yeah,
what's going on, you know
definitely an open-ended ending.
Oh yes, oh yes. We got a Kira love the new Creep Show remake on Shudder. Yes, yes, it's definitely up there. Definitely up there with the anthologies. It's definitely bringing that energy back. Definitely bringing that energy back. So, do you have a favorite decade of horror, or a decade that stands out to you?
I mean, probably 80s. I feel like that's kind of the cliche answer, but I mean, The Thing is
Listen,
my all-time favorite. Hellraiser is like my number two. Um, Predator and The Fly. I mean, those are like all my favorite horror movies, and they're all from that decade. So
yeah. Now, listen, I could not agree with you more. 80s for me, like it's funny. I interview a lot of folks, and I'm getting a lot of 2000s love, like as of lately, and early 2000s and 2010s, and I'm starting to appreciate it. I didn't always appreciate those eras, but I'm starting to appreciate it. Through the lens of others.
totally.
So it's definitely up there. Now, do you have a like when was the if you when did you fall in love with like horror collecting? Like, whether it be different types of memorabilia, like shirts and stuff like that. Was it like a rabbit hole that you fell down, or was it something that you've always like collected?
No, that kind of started pretty recently, actually. After uh, I just got my own apartment. After I'm in recovery for addiction, alcoholism. So I was kind of battling that, and then a few years ago, I got sober, and I finally like kind of got on my own feet. I got my own apartment, stuff like that, and so living on my own for the first time, like since I was like 18, I was able to kind of delve into my own interests, and I wasn't living with my parents anymore, so I was able to just kind of do a little more self exploration and really get into like the things I really cared about that I couldn't really focus on because of my addiction. Yeah, and so I just I work at a mall too, so going to Hot Topic, and I mean they have
Yes.
like a huge horror um, collection. Like they're always coming out with new stuff, and the art is really cool. And yeah, I keep finding other brands like online too, like Last Light Apparel. That's what this one is. This is a Talk to Me one, so it says
Yes.
I'd let you in. I don't know if you can really see it.
Yes, I love it.
Kind of. um, yeah, so just I just discovered so many different brands and so many different styles, and um, yeah, I think it was definitely a rabbit hole, and I'm still spinning down it.
Yes, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Just getting into what you like. And congratulations as well on, taking that huge step, in the sobriety, lifestyle, and just being here, because it's definitely a struggle sometimes in life, so we definitely do appreciate it. Now, could you name a film that you wish you could have been on the set for? A horror film that you wish you could have been on the set for.
I'm trying to think of like some that have like my celebrity crushes in them. um, I think Shutter Island would be interesting. I love Leonardo DiCaprio,
Ooh,
Martin Scorsese. Like doing. I mean, he's like one of the best directors ever.
yes.
Um, I think that would have been really interesting. I haven't really thought about that. It's a good question. I haven't really thought about that before. Probably like Terrifier.
Oh, that'd be a fun set.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Terrifier 1 or 2.
Ooh, either one, but I think two, because I think I love the first one, but I think with the second one they really brought it to a whole nother level, and I think um, again back to like the like makeup effects and stuff, like that would have been really cool to witness.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was definitely top tier. Like you could tell like they had fun on set. People were of course serious doing their jobs, but you can tell just by the sheer madness of the set design. Like it was just like a fun
Yeah,
environment, you
and
know.
that translates so well, because then when they have fun, then it's like we have fun.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
yeah,
It's especially like with the because I know the second one was batshit wild. Like it was batshit crazy. But the first one, I just remember I made the mistake of getting high before I watched it, and I'm watching it, and he's you got your main character hiding in the locker and looking through the vents, and he's just walking around with the skin on him. It was just like, what the hell am I watching right now?
Yeah,
But it was a great time, definitely.
totally, totally.
So my next question for you would be, now it's 2024, so there's so many people in the horror community from all walks of life and everything. Like, how does it feel to be in the horror community and amongst like one of the most diverse kick-ass, like it's just, I don't know, I just can't say enough about the horror community, especially because back when I was a kid, like I really didn't have a lot of people to share my love of the genre with, so now it's like I've got a plethora, it seems like endless folks
Yeah,
to share my love with. So how does it feel?
it's great. I mean, I think it's a really great community, and especially just because all of us we're kind of freaks, not in a bad way,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
but you know, um, can't really walk up to an average person on the street and talk about Art the Clown. So it's great to just have a whole bunch of people who just understand you, I guess, and to have something in common with people that isn't common with everyone. And I think obviously social media has like made that such a huge opportunity to connect with so many different people. That's which is so great. When before it's like I don't know, someone in the horror section of Blockbuster. I mean, that'd be the only place you could really talk to other people and about horror. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, so it's a great
Yes.
community. It's a great community.
Yeah, shout out to Blockbuster, I'm still I've still got my Blockbuster card, as I
Really,
keep it in my wallet. Yeah.
that's great. Classic.
Yeah, you gotta, can't let the legends die, gotta
No.
gotta still let the kids know. Be kind,
Uh,
rewind,
yeah,
be kind,
exactly.
be
Exactly.
kind, rewind. Now, do you have a film that you wish you could watch again for the first time, like a horror film? Yeah.
I feel like there's so many. Um, but I think I talked about Shutter Island already, but I think that
Yes,
would be a good one because the twist in that is just wild. Um,
it is.
and I read the book too, and
Ooh,
very, very, very close. It's probably one of the best film adaptations that I can say I've ever seen. Yeah, so just such a wild twist, and just to have that feeling of kind of being like punched in the gut, and it's still fun to rewatch, but just getting that feeling of like, what the heck? Like, I did not see that coming. Like, it's a great feeling.
yes, yes, I love it. So a lot of shout out to the Shutter Island folks out here. A lot of love for Shutter Island tonight. It's definitely a classic. I know a lot of people really really go up for it. It's definitely one of the ones out there. Kira says I still need to see the second Terrifier. Long overdue. Yes, yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, watch that before you watch anything else.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah, because it's one of those where I sat down, I watched it, and I'm like, oh, this is just like this is way long, but I was entertained the whole way through. I was
Yeah.
entertained the
It
whole way
it
through.
ran long toward the end, but like that's the only criticism I had. So
Yes.
that's pretty good, I think.
Yes. We got Mika. She says the horror community is great. We've made such great connections. Yes, yes. And Kira says I miss Blockbuster. R.I.P. Yes, R.I.P. R.I.P. Blockbuster, R.I.P. Suncoast, Sam Goody, Tower Records, all the greats.
Sam Goody, like Suncoast, I would go there all the time, going to the mall and like I don't, just all the posters. I think I got posters and stuff all the time from there, and Sam Goody too. Yeah, wow, haven't thought about that in a long time.
Yeah, that was like a. I mean, I went there every once in a while, but especially during the holiday season, when the
Yeah,
family gives you those gift cards, I'm like, oh, I'm going to Sam Goody, I'm going to
yep,
Suncoast.
yep, exactly.
It was, yeah, they don't know. They don't remember. They don't remember. Um Now I like to ask this question to everyone, because I get a lot of different answers, but does horror do anything specifically for your mental health? Because it
Mm,
affects everybody differently.
yeah, well, um, I think, well, I've had a lot of uh, experience with mental illness. I have like, I've really been through the system and I have like a million diagnoses and been in therapy forever. So um, I think in a way it's kind of like an outlet, and then you kind of feel less alone, I guess. Um,
Mhm.
and for me, it's like it's kind of like an adrenaline rush, I guess, and it's just exciting. So I get like an excitement out of it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe that's why I like the psychological aspect of it a lot, because I know what it's like to kind of deal with breaks from reality and things like that, and then kind of seeing something like that on screen is kind of like, oh, okay, like other people kind of know what that's like too, and can kind of like express yourself and your experiences in that way as well.
Yes, yes. Like you get some sort of release,
Yeah.
you get a release, but it definitely I love thank you for answering that question, because I just love to see, what's in everybody's brain. And shout out to therapy, folks, like I'm always whenever someone says, "Oh yeah, I go to therapy." I'm like, "Yes, yes, me too." We definitely got to take care of our mental, because if our mental is not on point, then you can throw the rest of us away.
Bad.
you
Yeah,
know
exactly. Exactly.
you know so we got KB in the building. Thanks for stopping by, KB. Sup, party people. Good evening to Sam and Tyrone. Yes, yes. KB in the building. What's up, Cray Dre? Stopping by. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So my next question for you would be, do you have a favorite horror villain? You know, uh, and I know it's a hard question for a lot of people, but do you have one that stands out? You
I probably just have to go with Freddy Krueger.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, the and he's just so interesting. There's just so many like really unique details with him, like his whole backstory, how he's like burned. He can, get in your dreams. He has the glove. Like there's just a lot of thought that went into it. Um, but with Terrifier, art is really becoming one of my favorites too. So
Yeah, Art the Clown.
mhm.
But I mean, you can't go wrong with Freddie. He's very charismatic.
Yes,
He's doing these
lots
dastardly
of
things,
fun.
but he's got the crowd.
Yeah,
He
yep,
can
for sure.
he can tell us anything. So what do you have, like, a favorite? What do you have, like, two favorite, uh Elm Street films, that stand out to you?
Honestly, like the first and the second. Um,
Ooh, the first and the second. Okay.
yeah. Um, I have a thing where sometimes like I have like a sequel phobia, where sometimes I'm like, when there's too many of the movies made, I'm like, they're just gonna be so bad. And I don't think I had like I can't even remember seeing some of the other ones. I liked the New Nightmare um, a lot, but
Yes.
what stood out about the first and second? Well, the first one just obviously, and then I just liked what they did with the second one, and how once again it was kind of like a female character having to like save her boyfriend kind of thing, and how they kind of flip flopped like the cliche of like the man saving the girl, and then you know anytime um, a movie will like do something different like that, or kind of take a cliche and kind of spin it around. I always like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They kind of did something like that with us, having the
Mm-hmm.
wife, be the one putting the work in,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
Which I think we need more of. We need more perspectives out there. We've been
Yeah,
watching the same damn movies for how many decades. So it's like we bring in
yeah,
more perspectives.
absolutely, absolutely agree.
So we got some love for art. Art the Clown is a classic. Yes, yes. The original was so disturbing. Talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, most definitely. Freddy, great choice. Yes, yes. Art is becoming a fave of mine as well. Listen, art, I think especially with Terrifier too, like he really cemented himself as like, one of the goats, and
Yeah,
without the massive budget, because Pennywise, I love Pennywise, but Pennywise had the budget last time around, you know.
that's true. I do love Pennywise too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not even that I love, obviously, but yeah. And so I don't know if you've read it. Have you read the book? I don't know if you're a reader or not.
You know what? People tell me some people have told me to read the book, but some people have told me do not read the book because of certain
Oh,
subject matter.
things involving people of certain ages doing certain things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's not that bad.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
it's
It's
not. I kind of I delve into like the disturbing, like kind of messed up side of like horror too, and that's definitely not one that I would say is the worst. Just
gotcha.
just kind of bizarre, but the book is my favorite Stephen King book. So if you like Stephen King, if you like books, I mean, it's long, but it reads easy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Stephen King's books, like, some of he's had some classic movies, but some of his books are, better than the actual, like whatever they translate on screen. And it could be imagination because I'm scaring the hell out of myself from, reading these words and, my
Yeah,
interpretation of what would scare me in this scenario. Like The
yeah.
Mist. Reading The Mist before watching the movie, I was just like, oh my
Oh, I
God.
haven't read that. Ooh,
Yeah, yeah, it
I'll take a
was.
look. Okay.
And 1408. If you have not read 1408,
No,
that's
I haven't. That's one of my
yeah.
favorite movies though. So okay.
Oh, then we're friends because 1408 is definitely fucking up there. Like I
And
could, oh my
that's
God.
playing too. Like it's such a creepy. It's not a creepy song, but it is a creepy song. Um, that like it's only just begun, blah blah blah. And I don't know. Again, with like the mental stuff, like all this weird stuff's happening. You don't know what's happening. And there's these freaky like ghosts coming out of the walls and whatnot. And I think the biggest thing is like when he thinks he's like out of there, and then he's actually not, and then that's just like, oh my god, like
I
just
was
such
out.
a nightmare. I know, yeah. So
Yeah, I love the scene where he's going through it, of course, in the hotel room, and he's just like, I'm sick of this, I'm done. And then all of a sudden it's like this noose appears or whatever, and it's like, oh, this is the expressway, and it's like,
yeah,
oh, fuck you. Like I'm not like it
wouldn't
was
want,
one of those moments where when the character chose that, I was like, fuck yeah, like we're still in
yeah,
this thing, you
yeah,
know.
good moment. And Samuel L. Jackson too is just not a huge part, but he's one of my all-time favorites. He's just brilliant in everything he does, even if he's not like a main character. So
He is like one of the definitions of there are no small parts, like,
yeah,
if you're doing your job, because his monologue when he's going through like the history of the room was just like fucking crazy. I loved it. I loved it.
yeah, yeah, me too.
You know.
Great.
Sam Jackson, Sam Jackson. So now do you have a favorite horror hero or final girl? Final girl or final boy? Did anyone stick out to you?
Hmm. Um, I do like Kirsty from Hellraiser. Um, I think I just really like how she stands up to not only like her uncle who is like a corpse-ish thing. How do I even describe
Yes.
it? She also like just her bravery I really like, and how she's like stands up to like straight up demons from hell, and
Yes.
it's clever enough to like make a deal with them after like opening the puzzle box. And yeah, I just like her a lot, I guess just for her bravery.
Now, bringing up Hellraiser specifically, like, what age do you think is an appropriate age to watch Hellraiser? Because it's funny, like I've heard all people say like their ages when they've seen Hellraiser and just like how insane it was. Even if somebody their first time watching it, like uh, a couple years, like even by today's standards. So like, what age do you think is an appropriate age to watch Hellraiser?
I think it's less about age and like more about the individual. That
Mm,
was one that I personally did not see until I was an adult. Um, but I think like I saw The Fly when I was a kid.
yes,
Um, and so that has kind of that really like messed me up, but not in a bad way. I liked that feeling,
yeah,
I guess. So and so I was 9 years old when I saw that, and so I feel like for some kids, if they saw that at 9 years old, like that would, you know, really affect them badly, and maybe they would get nightmares and have issues, get really scared.
yes,
I really just think it depends on the kid, it depends on the person. Like, I think like just like me and my sister are good examples. Like me at 9 years old watching that, totally fine. But my sister, even just watching a scary cartoon was like too much for her at that age. So really just really just depends on the person, I think.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think especially because you may have someone who is a little older but still can't handle certain imagery, certain stories and stuff like that. Your triggers evolve as you're like the same thing that may have triggered you as a little kid may not trigger you as an adult, but it's still relative. It's still a relative trigger. You know,
That's true. That's true. Exactly.
so. Now we're winding down to the end of the interview. I want to thank you for answering my questions. Just in an awesome way that you've answered them. I have two more questions for you. Now we are in the age and era of like the metaverse and virtual reality and stuff like that. So there's a space for horror in that. So if I were to put on the Oculus goggles and I'm stepping into Sam's world, how is it going to look? Like paint the scene and the environment for the maiden of macabre. What am I going to be soaking in?
With or without my medication. um,
What?
so yeah, I mean, I pretty much just live horror. Like that's just my favorite thing, and um, I work retail full time, so I guess I kind of, I go to work, and when I'm not working, this doesn't sound very exciting at all, but like I go to work, and then I'm always finding something new in horror to watch or read. Um, I think probably the biggest thing with me is like I think just how my brain works in regard to like creativity, and how like I just like if I'm like driving by something and I see like a car on the side of the road, with like a normal person might be like, oh, they have some car trouble, but like my brain just like jumps to all these different conclusions and like already starts to put a story together. So it's like, oh, like they got beamed up by an alien, or like there's a serial killer, or like or the car's alive, something like that. And
I like
just
the way you think. I like the
yeah, just keeps rolling with it. And so that's probably the biggest thing, is just like um just all the creativity that's always going on in my head would probably be the biggest standout.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. That was an awesome answer. That was an awesome answer.
Thanks.
Um, now my very last question for you would be if you could spend 24 hours, as your favorite horror villain or entity or spirit, person, whomever, person, place, thing, whomever, who or what would it be for 24 hours?
That's a good one. Um, Pennywise comes to mind first, I
Ooh,
think. You know, shapeshifter. I mean, I could really just become whatever I want. And so, in a sense, it's like I can be so many different things at once.
yes.
And I like scaring little kids. So, um, but yeah. And if you read the book, like the entity of Pennywise is a lot. It doesn't. It's not like fully explained, but it's a lot more mysterious, I guess, than it's shown in the movies. And so just to be something so otherworldly and so different would be a really interesting experience.
Okay, okay. I love that answer. Especially because, like you said, Pennywise can pretty much be anything. We've seen some of their just menacing, just how they came together, especially that spider crab thing, which was just outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Gave everybody nightmares. We got Kira. She says all the hands to the fly. Yes, yes, the fly is definitely a classic up there. There will be no fly slander in in
Illegal.
yes, illegal. Flag on the play. We got Ivor Trees. Thanks for stopping by, Ivor Trees. Wishmaster for me. Yes, that's an awesome choice. Wishmaster. Definitely another classic film up there, which probably deserves like a reboot or something, that with some more money behind it and a little
Yeah.
bit more tighter script. Like I wouldn't mind seeing a Wishmaster, reboot. But thank you again, Sam, for stopping by and
Yeah. Thank
talking
you.
with us, about horror and just getting to know you a little bit better through the lens of the genre. It's been an awesome time. Like, do you have anything coming up that you wanna talk about or bring to anybody's attention?
Not really. I should be having some, some drafts ready, but
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah. You look,
once I start to, actually start writing, maybe I can actually feel less guilty about calling myself a writer. Um,
listen,
yeah.
I still put it in my bio, and I'm in the same boat. I'm in this.
It's
I'm in this.
hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
Like,
like I need somebody to just like I need like a boss of my personal life to be like, hey, like why are you watching this stupid TV show for the eighth time when you can be working on something meaningful?
yeah, that's what they don't tell you as a kid, like, especially if you don't have like 'cause a lot of people they have children and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
to to not have children and to have to parent yourself and be like, "Hey, do this." And not just like responsibility crap like, taking out the trash or whatever, but actually, your passions and stuff like this. Like, "Hey, you're interested in this. Go do this. Invest some time into it. Invest some money into it."
exactly. Harder than you think.
Yes, yes. But thank you again for stopping by. All of her links are in the description below. So make sure you definitely check her out. And thank you everybody for kicking it with us in the chat. Jaleesa, Mika, and Kira, thank you for stopping by. Ivor Trees, thank you for stopping by, showing some love. Cray Dre, thank you for stopping by. KB, thank you for stopping by. Anthony, thank you for stopping by. Jody, everybody, thank you for stopping by and showing love. And yes, yes. Kira says, keeping an eye out for Sam for your writing. Yes, yes. See, people, if you write it, they will come, Sam. If you write it,
Yeah.
they will
Okay.
come. So,
If
and
I know
that's
it's coming, I'll actually be writing.
yes, it's all gonna play out as it should be. All gonna play out as it should
Yes,
be.
that is true.
But but yes, as always, folks, peace, love, and horror. And we're out of here. Make sure that you follow, like,